Welcome back to another episode of Transitions from War. I'm your host, Mike Ergo, a Marine Corps veteran. I returned from Iraq and faced the challenges of PTSD, addiction, and grief to create a new life that is balanced and healthy in mind, body, and spirit. I'm joined by fellow Marine Rich Stralian, and together we talk about our journey to mental and physical health through endurance sports. Each episode will share some of our journey or interview inspired veterans and subject matter experts to help us find that purpose and connection we all crave. If you have any questions, comments, or topic ideas, feel free to email me at mike@transitionsfromwar.com. And if you enjoy the show, consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your audio. As always, thanks for listening, everyone, and let's get to the show.
I mean,
to discuss it.
we've been on this game since like 2018,
And still,
audio issues persist because that's just the fucking way it is.
yeah,
That's just the way it is.
just the way it is.
Dude, I've been crushing some Tupac lately. A little Tupac. I say more Tupac than Tupac. I've been doing some Ludacris. Talk about BDE, man. Yeah, I can't, like, you got to get that swagger back. You throw some Ludacris on there.
You're like, yeah, but then you realize like you haven't been to a club in 15 years. You're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just big balling in my truck driving around, man.
Yeah,
Trying to impress my wife.
there you go. What's up, baby?
Pocket full of cash. Just seen a big old ass.
Oh, ludicrous.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh man, dude, I'll tell you what, man. Things are going well out here in California, but I'm a bit sick today. Came down with something. I think, what day is it? Sunday?
Yep.
Yeah. As of this recording is on Sunday. Yeah, maybe Friday night ish. But I tested yesterday, and I have to say I'm honestly disappointed it wasn't COVID.
Yeah,
You know, and I'll tell you why. The same reason I went to the hospital, and this is like January 2017. I was having intense pains, like lower right abdomen, and I was like, oh God. And so, you know, Sarah's taking me to urgent care. This is probably like 9 at night or something like that. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Take me to the ER. And I was worried that I was just going to get there and they were like, I'm sorry, sir. There's nothing wrong other than you're just a complete pussy.
Mhm.
However, I did have appendicitis. So I was secretly happy that I was being hospitalized for appendicitis. It was like, oh, thank God I'm not a little bitch.
Yeah, like thank God that I'm not just wimpy.
Yeah. So that's the disappointment I feel right now of just having a regular cold or whatever the fuck.
I had something like that recently too, but it's funny because I don't know, man. It seems like that happened. Like, you know, COVID hit, and I don't know, like lately the funk has been going through, you know, like kind of like tearing through the population, but it's things other than COVID. It's not so much COVID these days, at least out here. Yeah. Dude.
Dude, I tell you what though, before that happened, I've been crushing these Peloton workouts, man. Not on the bike because we have a Peloton treadmill.
Mhm.
I've been doing all strength. I'm like, I'm yes, I will get back into the endurance side of things, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I just felt this like need in my body, like in my soul, to just do some lifting, just start lifting some fucking weights. I don't know what it is, but I'm like, I'm going to listen to this.
I think I could use that too. I feel it every time I look at my profile in the mirror and I see that my arms are like tiny now. They used to be much bigger. So I think I probably will end up going somewhere toward, I think I might do body weight stuff mostly.
Yeah.
But I definitely miss like deadlifts, especially deadlifts more than anything.
Yeah. Deadlifts are fun.
Yeah, but they I don't know, man. It seems like every time I start lifting, I hurt myself. So I gotta be real careful about it.
I think key is doing slow with good form, slower than comfortable. Because I know it's like, man, I started training 28, no, 20, fuck, what was it? 2019, maybe? Yeah. 2019, winter of 2019 into 2020,
Mm-hmm.
the last hurrahs of the pre-pandemic world. I I got hit up by the like producers from the Titan games, you know that shit The Rock was doing.
Yeah, like one of these American Ninja Warrior style type. I,
Yeah,
I think.
uh-huh.
I mean, I remember that, and then there's the Beastmaster one, but I never really watched any of them.
It was a combination of like American Gladiator kind of shit, but it was more like strength things, like
Not
be
beating
the
the shit
ultimate
out of
beast,
each other.
crush a wall with a fucking hammer,
Okay.
and like you know roll up this fucking big chain and drag it around, and then so it was like, yeah, it was stuff for big guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I'm an endurance person, so if I'm going to do this, I should probably get strong,
Mm-hmm.
to get strong again. So I was training with this trainer and I was crushing these deadlifts, having fun. Last rep, it was the last rep we were going to do. I felt a little, I must have curved my back a little. And, like throughout the day, it got progressively worse to, well, I could barely walk, couldn't get out of my fucking truck. Like I felt like the most vulnerable I've ever felt, except for being like maybe seasick. Actually, you know what? I felt more vulnerable than being seasick, which is saying a lot because I was like, God damn, man. If someone tries to jack me right now, I'm just gonna roll over. I got nothing.
Whatever you do, just take all my money, take my phone, take my truck. Just do not touch my lower back.
Yeah, do not touch it, please. The only thing you can do, please just fucking shoot me right in the face because this is miserable. Oh, dude.
It's there's I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but there's like a test that has been shown like at most accurate to predict someone's
Yeah.
age of demise. And what that test is you put them on the floor with nothing around them and then ask them to get to their feet. And if they can get to their
Without their
feet,
hands.
yeah, if they can get up without their hands, then they are going to live longer than someone who can like has to use, their hands or has to like pull on something or whatever. I don't
Right.
remember
Yeah.
but
Let's say like qualify this barring any lower limb injuries, right?
I think it's primarily like people die when they get like they fall and break their hip, man. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. No, I hear you, man.
but you're gonna
But I'm
be
saying that test would have to be done like if you like sprain your ankle or something.
oh yeah, like
You're
then
doing this test
maybe
at like full capacity.
you should be, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're like just a beast and you're like, okay, I got this, and then you do like a pistol on your one good foot or
Do a
something.
fucking pistol. Yeah, dude.
You
I
know,
remember the most badass, like one of the most badass I ever felt outside the Marine Corps and Iron Man was probably doing a pistol in CrossFit, unassisted, like,
yeah, that's a good one. Oh, muscle ups. Yeah, I mean, well, we're getting to that age, man, where bone density is gonna matter. Like
yep.
we just are. So lifting, at least, even if we're doing something like endurance, there should be some lifting there. And that's, I think, yeah, I fell off, but I would like to at least, you know, start doing the David Goggins, do like one thing that makes you uncomfortable like every day, filled
Okay.
with
I'm
pain.
glad you
So
specified because when you said do a David Goggins, you could take that a lot of ways. That could be
yeah,
like
I plan on
run
going
for
to
50
butts
miles and
three
talk shit to
times.
yourself the whole time.
Oh yeah, yes. Or yeah, run 100 miles and get frostbite on your toes. Run 100
Yeah.
miles, with 3 days notice after a deadlift workout the night before.
Oh my God.
That's
That
insane.
that's insane. That's just insane. That is
Yeah,
insane.
that he's nuts, but I like the way he presents things in that book. I just finished it actually.
Yeah.
They're I think worth looking at and doing, like getting inside your own head.
I think so too. I got some takeaways from that book. I don't know. I think we did like a review of Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins a little while back, but it's worth going over again because that shit still applies. Like what I took away from that book is that there's times where you can really benefit from having that voice of like, oh, like, I'm tired, boo-hoo, motherfucker, get the fuck up, like
Yeah.
having that inner Goggins voice.
Yeah. Boo-hoo, motherfucker. That dude. Yeah, I did the audio, and so they do like a little
Yes.
podcast type thing in between, and it was a
Same.
good book, man. I was glad to have listened to it, but I was just at this thing where it was like so you have to do this. It's a red ass, I call it, PhD attestation, right? So you got to go and defend all your research, show that you're on progress to finish. And this year, instead of people just lining up and going into a classroom and getting beat down or whatever, they decided to make it like a networking event or whatever. So they took us to this place that's kind of a little rustic. It's in the middle of, like, you can go shooting and you can go, they have some spots to play volleyball. It's Estonia, so there were some saunas. I swam across the lake and back after I finished my attestation, and I felt that was cool.
Nice.
Just because I hadn't swam for a while, so I was like, I'm gonna get in that cold water and do something uncomfortable.
Fuck yeah.
But then I try not to talk about my military time for the most part in my life, because I hated, like when I was young, there were these Vietnam vets, and they would always talk about, and they're probably around then our age now.
Yeah, they fucking do the Uncle
older.
Rico, right?
Yeah, exactly. They do the Uncle Rico, and I unfortunately got this haircut because I don't know how to speak Russian well, and she knew zero fade, but not how to say low. So it was just, and so between the haircut and the Goggins like audiobook, I was just thinking about my military career quite a bit, and ended up, it was a topic of conversation with a bunch of people, but it was a good time. But I do think that would be useful for me, at least, and some of the where you go back and kind of chart your failures, and do it on paper, like that kind of thing, and how do after actions on it,
Exactly. I think it's like when I write my book, I'm saying this going to be like I guess like a self-help, but we're going to be talking like about how to channel that voice that's like the inner warrior, similar to Goggins, but also put it in context with acceptance of where you are. Because like, I think some of us have that voice a little too much, where it's not like a, come on, motherfucker, let's go. It's just a total beat down of like, you're a piece of shit. Why even start?
Yeah. Why are you even trying this? You suck. I definitely feel that. Your inner critic.
Yeah. And the inner critic is good in a context, but that shit gets out of control for a lot of people.
It does. It's, I guess I like the exercise of going over the failures, and in a sense, right? David Goggins' book is really a Navy SEALs version of, have you ever heard of The Artist's Way? I think her name is Julie Cameron. I want to say.
No, but I've heard of The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Which
okay, so
like
it's
probably a similar thing.
It's a little similar. Like Pressfield, he also falls to the Goggins side of, he's like a little hardcore.
Yeah,
like,
he's a devil dog, man.
Yeah, he's like, you get to your, like, there's nothing ethereal and amazing about being an artist. You're a freaking craftsman. So you get to your fucking desk and you fucking work, and that's it.
Exactly. You get up, you write down those dick jokes, and you fucking like it.
Exactly. And Julie Cameron, I believe that's her name, but she has essentially, it's called The Artist's Way, and it's a 12-step program for artistic recovery. I find she has like some of those similar exercises, but she frames it specifically in a 12-step thing because she had gone through AA
recovery stuff. Okay, so but it's intended.
There is, it's intended to be 12 steps, but some of the exercises, just like clearing your mind out of, like these morning pages, like clearing your mind out. It's this almost the same thing as like the journaling that everyone else is saying to do. I don't know. It helps clear out that inner critic. And I think you're right that these, I just thought it was funny thinking of like David Goggins and then Julie Cameron, like standing side by side. And one is like, almost like a devil over one shoulder and then like an angel on the other, and it's like, hey, Leonard, you just lazy piece of shit. You need to get up, get hard, get out there. Like,
Yeah.
well, the best thing might be to write your morning pages as soon as you get up. And if you get up, it better be at 4:30 in the fucking morning.
Callous that mind. Callous that mind, you weak bitch.
It's like, I get the idea of, because Goggins is pushing against all of this, like the modern era of, being soft, right?
Being soft. Yeah, exactly. And so like some of it feels like it's a reaction to that.
Yeah.
But I'm not advocating at all that, like, especially men, because we'll speak from our experience as men. Like, I don't think we need any more messaging of how to be softer. Like, we really don't. It's like,
Yeah.
I was thinking about this today, man. It's like, or do our kids need us to be mom number 2, or do they need us to be like an empathetic but like masculine male figure?
That's, I mean, the person that I've seen be the most successful raising kids is probably one of my uncles, and he's always been that kind of, like, he's soft-spoken guy, but he's really successful.
Yeah.
And I always remember watching him with his kids, because he was like maybe 14 or something when I was born. So he had kids when I was probably in high school,
Yeah.
and I remember seeing him talk to his kids, and he'd be like, okay, now it's time for you to go do this, go do that. And he didn't yell. He wasn't like, hey, listen here, you little shit. He just talked to his kid normally, and the eldest one, like, didn't really care about school for his first couple years of high school. And then he ended up getting his shit together when he realized what was at stake, and ended up going to pretty decent university and graduating cum laude, and is going to work for one of the big four. So, I mean, he seems to be doing all right. And he
Yeah.
didn't beat his kids. He didn't whoop them. Not the way I was raised. I mean,
Yeah.
he had definitely a different parenting style from the rest of his brothers and sisters, but
Yeah.
he was successful with it by being like firm but still empathetic.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's a weird thing. So welcome back to Modern Fathering with Rich
Yes,
and Mike.
modern fatherhood. But I do think that there's something to be said for all people to have a well of mental toughness.
Yeah.
And the Goggins way of approaching it kind of builds your well,
Dude, it does. Especially, I'm trying to think, like,
because he doesn't just do this for physical stuff. For the listener, if you haven't read that book or listened to it, it's not just physical. It's just saying you're going to need a certain level of grit if you want to, I don't know, become a great programmer or whatever.
yeah,
And
if you want to conquer these inner demons,
yeah,
that's what it is, man. So I agree. Like, if you don't have that grit, then you're more likely to fold. And you're more likely to fold. And I think especially for all the vets we're talking to, man, it's like we've all had a level of that grit. All had it through going through basic training, and then whatever else, you had to endure and get through by sheer will and grit, out in what we call the fleet, or, your unit. So
yeah,
it's like a remembering too. But I think about that, like, if I'm like, starting to feel self-pity, like if I got a bunch of like documentation or notes to do at work or admin shit, or like, I'm like, oh, why am I getting stuck with this? I see, like, I'll have that Goggins on the shoulder, be like, well, where fucking cry about it and see how much like paperwork that gets done, bitch. And so I'm like, all right,
it's
all
true,
right.
man. It's
Yeah.
true. Like,
Yeah.
there's times where I've been like, oh, I don't want to do this. This sucks. And then there's a part of me that's like, oh, would you rather be setting up bleachers and stages for less money? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's what my life was on track for before all this shit, before I joined the Marines and left and all that,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's kind of, Jocko has that thing about waking up at 4:30, or you don't have to wake up at 4:30, but you wake up, and if you get a win in at the beginning of the day by getting some sort of workout and making yourself feel uncomfortable, then you are on a better path for the rest of the day. Like, I
Totally fucking agree with that.
yeah.
Yeah. And like, even though like it can come off as like a little cheese
Oh,
with
it is. It's
Jocko. Like when
fucking
you see like,
both of those guys. It's a whole lot of cheese, man. It's like, but at the same time,
but
they
you know
do it.
what? They're fucking strong, and
Yep.
I'm not as strong. So right, it can
Yeah.
be cheese. It can be as cheesy as it wants, but like motherfucking Jocko has a neck like 10 times thicker than anyone's biceps. So
Yeah.
that motherfucker, dude, like, yeah, I love it. 4:30 a.m. Fix bayonets. Get hard. Like, slay yourself.
Meanwhile, I'm walking around looking like Patton Oswalt without all the success.
Dude, did I tell you that I got on my scale a couple weeks ago? And I'm like, all right, man, it's time to take some honest inventory of what the fuck's been going on since like 2020 pandemic started. And I have the smart scale. So I opened up the app because it gives you like body fat, bone density, muscle density, all this shit. And it makes this like kind of bouncing sound. It goes boing. And it goes, are you sure this is you? This is significantly heavier than last time. I'm like, I was like, yeah, the scale's still here, but
yeah,
I was like, I will shut your fucking mouth, man.
it's the importance of feedback. Like, so the same
Yeah.
thing happens when
I
I
needed
haven't
that.
run for a little bit, right? And then
Yeah.
I have this Garmin, like I have an old Garmin because I bought it like in 2017, but I one of those guys, I don't upgrade with every, I wait 5-10 years or something. As long as it's
Yeah.
functional, I'll keep using it. But it'll tell you how well you're training, like how effective your training is. So if I've been eating like dog shit or stressed out or whatever, and I go run, it'll be like -4, bad shape, or like, like unproductive. And
Yeah.
it's right. It's important, but it still sucks to hear. And I still want to like be like, fuck you, watch,
Yeah, exactly. It's like the honest, blunt, cruel fucking Eastern Bloc feedback that like we need sometimes.
Yes,
You
exactly.
are bad shape. Stop being fat ass.
Yes.
Dude, it's that, or like that I quote I love from Godfrey, man, the comedian. Fucking, it's that uncomfortable toilet splash of truth. Oh, get you. Oh yeah, I feel that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, but I do think for me, I my plan is to start doing something every day to make myself uncomfortable, and then try and start working through those exercises. It's a really
Yeah.
compelling story, but the first, like, I gotta give a trigger warning. Like the first couple of chapters of that book were incredibly brutal.
Oh, to learn how Goggins grows up in fucking
Yeah.
Buffalo with his dad, is fucking horrible human being.
Yes. And then
Yeah, that was rough, man.
yeah, it was rough, but if you can get through that, then the rest of the story is pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's well worth it. It's well worth it.
Yeah. So I should probably talk about why I feel like I need to do something every day to make myself uncomfortable. It's because I haven't been doing anything to make myself uncomfortable. Like
Yeah.
yeah, dude, after the hand cut, and then I had the series of like work trips, and the stress got piled on. And even before we go on vacation here, I got like a full week full of deliverables, and then basically have like Friday evening to pack up and get ready to leave. Uh so I really haven't been training, man. Like not much at all.
Yeah, I think, dude, I think it's those guided workouts for me are a lifesaver, just because like I can tell them, like, write it down. And look, I'm not that guy. If I had to be and I didn't have something like Peloton, then I would fucking force myself to do that. But some kind of guided workout where somebody, I know he's not looking at me, but it's like, come on, you got this. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to disappoint this guy in this pre-recording. So I'll do it. Fucking works for me.
So
That shit works.
so Peloton has body weight stuff too.
Body weight, actual like dumbbell stuff. Yeah, and combination of like excuse me, cycling and weightlifting, or running and weightlifting, yoga, stretching,
Oh, nice.
a lot of shit.
I do have one of these body weight training things that I could do, and I've just not been proactive about it. I've been being a lazy piece of shit. But
Yep.
hey, no, I mean, it just starts. You got to do every day something,
Yeah.
even if it's
Yeah.
yoga.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do something today. Oh, I tell you what, being sick, fucking just like being upright is fucking uncomfortable. So
Mhm. I feel that. Yeah, I'm just happy that survived all this stuff. Really,
yeah.
like I
Oh
got through
shit.
it because there was a ton there between the last time we talked and now, just
Yeah.
shit that was due. So, but yeah, looking forward to summer and you know getting back to the homeland for a little while. That's gonna be good.
Getting back to homeland, man. It's gonna be good. Like, yeah, the next time we talk on this podcast might be live or it might be in person. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
live
dude.
in
This is
person.
yeah,
First
this is
time
gonna
in
be
a
a
few
good summer.
years, man.
No shit. Yeah, I know. No shit. Was the last time I saw you at the triathlon, huh? That we
Yeah,
put on at the gym?
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just
Yeah.
stopped
So
by for a couple minutes. I didn't realize I was going to be on the damn road in traffic all day, but I guess that's California for you.
fucking A, man.
It's
Yeah.
like brutal. Not looking forward to that. I don't even really drive out here, so it's
Yeah.
going to be going from, there's traffic out here, but not so bad.
It'll be kicking the dick, but
Yeah,
you'll be in traffic because of freedom.
because of
Rough.
freedom. Rah. And
What's
it'll be something that makes me uncomfortable every day.
yep. Yeah, there you go, man. Dude, what's your takeaway for our listeners this week?
you know, all right, this is going to be a little bit of a meta take. Like I'm a big fan of the self-help genre. It's good to have a growth mindset, want to improve yourself. But
Yeah.
as important it is to read or listen to these books, they're each designed to give you a set of mental tools to succeed. Some of them are almost the exact same message, just tailored to a different audience, which is okay,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
But so I guess it's find what works for you in what it is that you're working on right now, because you can't work on everything at once.
Yeah.
Ben Franklin, who's arguably like the father of that genre, used to pick like one of his what he had decided were his like moral concepts to work
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
and he would work on one of those virtues for like a week, I think, at a time, and then record how it went, and then he would go work on the next one, and he would rotate through. So if you want to work on getting harder right now, then pick a book like Goggins. I think Goggins' book is unique in my mind, in a lot of ways. But then it's important to do the exercises, not just
Yeah, exactly. Not
do
just
the
go
book.
through it and be like, that's great, and go on to the next self-help book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
go through the exercises, do them, and do some introspection, man. And that's like the way to improve.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. So my message will be similar in that there's being uncomfortable, doing something that pushes you every day is important. Find out what that is that's doable. So we're kind of threading the needle here.
Mm-hmm.
So like I could find out, like I could say, oh, what push myself is fucking carrying 100-pound weight 5 miles every day. I'm not fucking doing that. Right. And so then I just create this big old fucking like wall of like, well, when I start doing that, when I get up the balls to do that, it'll be great. Then I'll start. And meantime, I'm just letting time go by. So it's like,
Or
okay,
you're
but
beating yourself up, right?
yeah,
Because you're not
exactly.
doing it. Yeah.
Right now, a 20-minute Peloton workout is fucking very uncomfortable, very fun. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Um, but I set myself up to be uncomfortable in a way that I'll actually get there. It's
Yes,
like
absolutely.
it's like in the same way as like like the hardest part about working out is getting your fucking shoes on and getting out the door
Mm-hmm.
to the gym or to wherever you're working out. And just like growing up when I was a band nerd was the hardest part about practicing was getting that instrument out of the fucking case. So I set myself up right there for our visual people. I don't know if we're gonna put this online, but I got my saxophone back out,
Oh,
playing
nice.
again. Yeah. So set yourself up to have your fucking shoes ready, have your fucking gym clothes ready. Like sometimes I sleep in my fucking workout clothes for the next day and get up, or I have
That's
them
nice.
laid out right there. So I'm like, it's the first thing I do, man.
Yeah, staging that shit, that works. That helps a lot. I've noticed because then it's like one less mental barrier, you know. Uh
Yeah.
you got to remove as many barriers as possible, which is why I have a bike here, although it's a clothes rack right now. But who was it? Okay, I think I might have said this one before as well, but Al Bundy, the guy who played Al Bundy,
Uh-huh.
I can't remember his name right now, but he was also in Modern Family
Yeah.
and played Jay. That dude's a jujitsu black belt, and I think he like actually got his black belt when he was well over the age of 50. And
Nice.
and so what he did was, for 10 years, he would just tell himself, like, okay, all I got to do is get through the front door. Like get through the front door, and then if you don't want to train, then you can head home, but go, you know.
Yeah.
And then he would get through
Exactly.
the front door and he's like, oh shit, might as well throw this on. And he would throw his gi on and then go train. And
Yes. Yes. Exactly. So maybe we'll combine our message and say, get through the fucking front door.
yeah, get through the front door.
Yeah. All
Hell
right.
yeah.
Get
Hell
through the front door. GTFD. GTTFD.
Get through the, and then add in an extra F. So GTTFFD.
And
Boom.
once you GTTFD, just do that shit. Fuck.
Exactly. Just do that shit.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, your day is starting to end, and my day is starting to
beginning.
start.
Yes.
Yeah. So wherever your day is, slay some fucking bodies. If that's your body, cool. If that's other people's bodies, well, I hope you're safe and not going to die in a war.
Yeah.
But
or are not like a serial killer or a mass shooter.
Exactly. Yeah, but slay bodies in whatever way is comfortable for you.
Yeah, comfortable but uncomfortable. Get
Exactly
comfortable being uncomfortable. There you go.
I like that, man. Slay bodies in accordance with your values. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. This is fun, man.
Yeah. Fucking drink water.
Meditate.
Kill
bodies.
fucking bodies. Yut.
All right, everyone, that'll do it for this week of Transitions from War. Go ahead and subscribe to the show, follow it. Find us on Facebook, Instagram. You can email me, mike@transitionsfromwar.com with any questions or ideas for the show. And please send the show to people you know who might need to listen to it. Leave us a rating and review on iTunes if you get a chance. And just thanks for listening. All right, everyone. See you next week. Bye-bye.
indoctrination program.
Yeah.
So we just finished this thing where, like, you know, in our minds, we're like hardened radio recon warriors. And on the way they did it was on the East Coast. You know, you became a cadre member as soon as you made it through their RIP course. Whereas on the West Coast, you know, you had less to do up front to get into the platoon, but you didn't become a member of the cadre until you know, you deployed. So you would do your RIP as part, like as a warm up to your MU warm up, right? You know, like the workup. And then once you got back from your deployment, then you were part of the platoon or whatever. So we were doing some small training op, and I thought I was such a badass, you know, got my like dark green shirt and the black shorts and stuff, and thought I was so cool. And we were messing around with radios, and we had mostly been, because the old HF, I can't even remember there was a Vietnam era HF radio that you needed. The crypto would be put in like a separate box, you know, and that was what we were made to use most of the time. And then the big, like the 119, I think it was like Bravo or something, this big ass radio.
I remember those. Yeah.
And then we were doing this little training thing, and we got the 119 Foxtrot, which is, you know, pretty small, holds its own crypto, really nice. And we were supposed to be using it, and we kept doing a comm check and weren't getting anything. And I went into like the electronic maintenance shop, you know, probably in my PT gear, because that's what, you know what I mean?
You had that big dick energy going on.
Exactly. I had that big dick. Exactly. Like, hey, I'm ready to recon, don't you know? Like, and I was like, this fucking radio is broken. And they're like, what'd you check and everything? I was like, yeah, I checked the fucking volume. Yeah, I checked the volume. Volume's right here on the radio. And then the dude picked up the handset, and it was a different handset that came with that particular radio that also had an integrated volume button.
Yeah.
And the problem was that volume was off. And I felt like such a fucking idiot, man. The guy like looked at me, he's like, oh, fucking radio retards, you know?
Oh, yeah. Kills the mojo just a little bit, huh?
Oh yeah. It was a sign of things to come with my time in radio recon. But yeah, the problem with my microphone right there was that there's a switch on it.
Yeah.
And it was off.
Dude, yeah. I guess I have nothing to contribute to that other than I think every time a podcast starts, let's just factor in that there will be an audio issue, because that's just how this shit goes.
It's true. Yeah.